Very good morning to all my dear students. Hope you are all good. In the last class, we discussed mainly the sources of all the human capital formation. We have done the five sources: education, health, on-the-job training, migration, and information. And also we discussed a little the relation between human capital and economic growth, various indicators of health and education in our country. Let's take the topic further. Today we are going to talk about two global reports where India and its human capital have been mentioned, where it has been seen that India can do wonders with its stock of human capital. One of such reports is by Deutsche Bank. So, Deutsche Bank, it is a German bank headquartered in Frankfurt, Germany, and the report was given in 2005 only. This report which we are talking about, this is a report of 2005. The title of the report is Global Growth Centers. In the Global Growth Centers report, the Deutsche Bank identified India as one among four major growth centers in the world by the year 2020. And what did they actually mean by four major growth centers? That these four countries are going to show an average real GDP growth rate of more than 5% per year because of the large stock of human capital that they have with themselves. By investing in them and by making good use of the knowledge of the people, these countries can showcase a growth rate of more than 5% per year. The report further states that human capital, it is the most important factor of production in today's economies, and increase in human capital is crucial to achieve increase in GDP. Also, with reference to India, the report states that a 40% rise in the average years of education in India is expected. Like the number of years people spend in their education before actually joining the labor market, before starting working, the number of years people spend in their education, like you are spending since nursery, you have been spending your time in education. So, and maybe for another 6 to 7 years you're going to study, maybe your bachelor's, then master's, or it will vary from person to person. So the Deutsche Bank actually estimated that the number of years people spend in India in receiving their education is going to increase by 40%. Just try to find this number, average years of education in India. Let me know this. I'll show you this report. This is there only. Let me show you this. Okay, this is this report by Deutsche Bank, Current Issues Global Growth Centers, that was published on March 23, 2005 by Deutsche Bank. And in this report, these are the five emerging markets which were estimated by Deutsche Bank that these countries are going to show a growth rate of, here it is, a real GDP growth of more than 5% per year, and India is at the top of this prediction, which with an average growth rate of 5.5%. Then Malaysia 5.4%, China 5.2, Thailand 4.5, and Turkey 4.1. So these are the various emerging markets, and these are OECD countries. OECD is Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Let's not get into that. Okay, which major factors actually, what are the major drivers which are taken into consideration before predicting this growth rate? These are the four major factors: their population growth, the investment ratio, human capital in these countries, and the trade openness with the rest of the world. Because of the good population growth in these countries and the good utilization of human stock embodied in that population, this report was able to predict India as one of the, in fact, as the top major growth centers until 2020 in the emerging markets. So that's how Deutsche Bank identified India in 2005 only, and India was actually showcasing a growth rate of more than 5% per annum all these years. Okay, next report is by World Bank. The title of the report is India and the Knowledge Economy, leveraging strengths and opportunities. Knowledge economy. Okay, this report, let us see this report also. This report was also published in 2004 to 5 by the World Bank, where the title of the report was itself this only, India and the Knowledge Economy, Leveraging Strengths and Opportunities. It states that India should make a transition, that's a changeover, to the knowledge economy. Knowledge economy is where the skills and knowledge of the people are utilized to achieve economic growth and economic prosperity. Okay, knowledge economy is where you are using the skills and good knowledge of the people of your nation to achieve economic prosperity in your country. So the report states if Indian economy uses its knowledge effectively as used by Ireland, it is believed that Ireland used its knowledge very effectively. You can read this report again. This is available. Just I told you in the last class also read about Ireland, how it used the government in the Ireland was so much committed towards investing in their people in forms of in education and health, and that they increased the expenditure on education and health by 3 times in their country, and then they utilized the knowledge of their people effectively to achieve economic growth of their country. So if Indian economy also uses its knowledge effectively, then its per capita income will increase from a little over $1,000 in 2002 to $3,000 in 2020. But I don't think so. We are at this stage right now. India's per capita income in terms of dollars might be around just $2,000 only. So, yes, there is an increase obviously since 2002, but we have not been able to reach this benchmark. The report further states that Indian economy has all the key ingredients for making this transition. Why India can make a transition to knowledge economy? The major reasons were we have a large number of skilled workers. This is important. We should be like from the exam point of view also it is important that world which 3 ingredients World Bank discovers or finds in India which can drive it to a knowledge economy. So we have a large number of skilled workers, a well-functioning democracy, we have and a diversified science and technology infrastructure. All these factors um, help India to move its economy to a higher growth path. So these two reports point out the fact that further capital formation in India will move its economy to a higher growth path. Let me show you this report also. It is okay here. If you can see, this is the report by World Bank. Why is it going reverse? Okay, this is the report by World Bank, India and the Knowledge Economy, Leveraging Strengths and Opportunities. I think this is zoomed. Yes. So this is the introduction. We are not going to take the entire report. Let us just see the preface of the entire report. If you can see here, the report provides a big picture. Okay, this time is opportunity for India to make its transition to the knowledge economy, an economy that all this area I'm reading, an economy. What is a knowledge economy? An economy that creates, disseminates, and uses knowledge to enhance its growth and development. See here. World Bank estimated that India can make its transition to the knowledge economy, an economy that creates, disseminates, that is spreads, and uses knowledge to enhance its growth and development. This report provides a big picture assessment of India's readiness to embrace the knowledge economy, and what were the key ingredients, emerging possibilities confronting India on 4 critical pillars of the knowledge economy, that is strengthening the economic and institutional regime, developing educated and skilled workers in our country, creating an efficient innovation system, and building a dynamic information infrastructure. So, the report also highlights that India should continue to focus its effort on further reforming its overall economic and institutional environment. So, this is the report by World Bank in 2005 only, where it highlights India as the possibility of being a knowledge economy. So these two reports actually point out the fact that we can even in a better way utilize our human capital formation. Okay, when did India actually recognize its importance of human capital? It was only in the seventh five-year plan that human capital was assigned a key role. Let me know in the comment section, when was the seventh five-year plan of our country? What was the time period of the seventh five-year plan? When was it started and when did it end? I just want to know it in terms of India. I'm asking for India. So let me know, because okay, this is also important for one mark point of view. When did India recognize the importance of human capital in economic growth? So it was in seventh five-year plan that India recognized the importance of human capital in economic growth, that human capital must be assigned a key role in any development strategy, particularly in a country with a large population. Trained and educated people can actually become an asset. Otherwise, the huge population will only be a burden. India's population is a burden on India because majority of the people, maybe they might be literate, but they are not, the talent is lacking, the skills are lacking. There is still a huge crunch in India of talented and skilled people. Huge crunch is there, although people have got their degrees with themselves, but the talent and the skill which is required for being employed, there is lack of employable skills. There might not be lack of education, but there is lack of employable skills. So there has to be some change in the education system also, so that population can actually become an asset rather than a liability on the nation. So this is what human capital says, that your education, if your population, if it is trained and educated, can become an asset in accelerating economic growth and in ensuring social change in desired directions. They're only educated people, these educated people can bring good social change in the country, and they have brought all these years also. If you have read about social reformers, I pay due respect to them. They have not been less than the freedom fighters, because they actually ended the major social evils in the country. They fought for that, women empowerment and all those things. um, the sati pratha and all, which used to happen earlier, like long years before. So there were some social reformers behind these big changes. So it is only your skills, your values, your education, which can lead you to ensure social change, which can ask you to speak for your rights and bring a positive change in the society. Okay, this also you should be knowing a good short note on India as a knowledge economy. Indian software industry has been showing an impressive growth record over the past decade. We all know this since 1991, in fact, or 95, you can say. Our IT industry has been showing impressive growth rates. Entrepreneurs, bureaucrats, and politicians, they are now advancing views about how India can transform into a knowledge-based economy by using IT. Likewise, e-governance is being projected as the way of the future, like providing government services through digitalization and all that. That is e-governance, providing all the government services by the way of technology. This is going to help us. It is being projected as the way of the future, and government is also working in this direction. The value of IT also depends greatly on the existing level of economic development. IT can make existing assets and processes more effective and efficient. So this is the use of information technology only, which we are doing right now. This is IT, this is the wonder of information technology, or only that in the lockdown also we people are connected with each other, and we have been able to cover the syllabus. We have been able to learn something new every day. We have been able to know what is happening around the world. These are all the wonders done by IT. Earlier, there was, when when computers and all actually started emerging in the country and all, there was big protest against them, that they will decrease the number of people required for the jobs and all that. But now if you see, majority of the people are actually employed in IT sector. So it has brought jobs with it. It is not that it is just replacing them, it has brought jobs with it. But the problem basically is that now we need more skilled people, more talented people, to be employed in any kind of job, because they have to be adaptive with the change in technology. There have been some instances of villagers using email, which are cited as examples of such transformation only. So this is all about IT. However, for this, basic infrastructure obviously needs to be developed. To support any technological change, you need to have a basic infrastructure in the country. So this is India as a knowledge economy. Let's move on to the next topic, importance or role of human capital formation. We have talked about human capital formation in detail, much detail. In fact, without even going with this topic in detail, you can really write a good short note on role of human capital formation in the country. Just pick each and every source of HCF separately, and you can write 2-3 lines on each of them, and you can frame your own answers on how human capital formation is important now. So it is just a repetition of what we have already done. Still, I'll just read the important lines and just pay attention. So first, human capital is what makes effective use of physical capital. Till now, we have been talking about this: the good use of land, the good use of buildings, the good use of machines, tools, everything. We can be done only if the people are skilled enough to use it. If this computer, if this PC which I have been using right now is helping me, if it is a physical capital, so I can make an effective use of it only if I have got some human skills, and if I can put in my efforts to use it. Otherwise, this is just like a box. This would be just like a box for me. Anybody who does not know how to use it, this is going to do no help to that person. It is the skills of the humans who can, come out with big things through this through the use of computers and all. There would be so many more skilled people than me who would be making even better use of this physical capital. So how much effectively you are using your physical capital depends on the stock of your human capital. The more human capital you have, actually the more effectively you will be able to use your stock of physical capital. So that is why the growth and productivity of physical capital depends extensively on human capital formation. Physical capital can be created only by means of hard and intelligent work of human beings. So this computer was created by intelligent work of human beings. So they are effectively using it also, and they are inventing it, they are bringing innovations. Every physical capital is man-made, so it is the hard and intelligent work of human beings which is creating the physical capital in the economy. Hence, human skills and their efforts help in effective utilization of physical capital. Next is higher productivity and production. Human capital formation raises the productivity and production as knowledgeable and skilled worker makes better use of the resources. We have talked about this a lot, in fact, multiple times by now, that the skills of an educated person, the knowledge of an educated person is much more as compared to an uneducated one. So his productivity levels will be higher, his earnings will be higher, which will lead to higher production in the country, and it will lead to higher economic growth. So the same thing is repeated here. Increase in productivity and quality production depends on technical skills of the people, which can be acquired only by means of education, training, and maintaining the health of the people. Just imagine that you lack all three things, and now imagine your productivity levels. You are not having good health, you're not having good education with yourself, and no training has ever been provided to you for any sort of work. So you would hardly have any productivity levels in yourself, and the quality of production which you have would also be very low, or you might not be having even any productive quality, in fact. So it all depends on these three factors, which is actually human capital. And investment in human capital helps in acquiring new skills, also knowledge relating to management, how to manage your resources, how to manage your technology and production in the country, how much land has to be put for construction of houses, how much land has to be put for construction of factories, for farming, for forest use. All this has to be, decided by the country. So it the management and all will be good enough only if there is good investment in human capital. That is why people go for these management courses, MBAs and all that, and they learn all these skills in those courses. So this is just an expenditure on education to build up their stock of human capital. Third importance, it brings invention, it stimulates inventions, innovations, and technological improvement. This we covered in expenditure and education also, if you remember. Human capital formation, it stimulates inventions, it creates ability to absorb new technologies. You will be able to absorb new technologies. Education provide knowledge to understand changes in society and scientific advancements, which facilitates inventions and innovations. Scientific advancements, you all have been aware of what advancements the world has made now, and if you compare it to 20 years before, we have there has been tremendous advancements in science and technology. So it has all been gifted by the stock of human capital actually. Similarly, the availability of educated labor force facilitates adaptation to new technologies. So we have already covered these points under source of human capital formation. Next is modernization of attitudes, which I find really important actually. So with education, just do not think that our monetary gain is there, our productivity level increases and we are able to earn more. I think the non-monetary side is more powerful, is more impactful actually, because bringing a change in the attitude of the people is actually more important as compared to bringing an increase in their earnings. Or both are important, but modernization does not only mean adaptation of new technology. It actually it also means change in social outlook. And what do you mean by change in social outlook? You know that you have this vision of gender equality, gender empowerment, providing equal rights to women. A society will be more civilized and prosperous if it makes good use of the talents of the women in the workplace. So this all you will be able to um, realize when there is human capital. When you're educated only, then you will be having this modern attitude, modern thinking, and a change in your social outlook. So that is why the knowledgeable, skilled, and physically fit people, they are powerful instrument of change in the society. Powerful instrument of change. Economic development of any country depends on the minds of their people and their changing attitudes towards creating a will for development. All those social stigmas, being educated, we all understand that this dowry system, child labor, all these are crime, and we should not support them at any cost. We should never support them. If any child you find working who's below 14 years of age, there are provisions that you can report against those persons who have employed them, because it is against their basic rights. So it is only, and uneducated people, I do not think that they would think about them. They would think that no, dowry and all is it is all a stigma on the society. No, they do not have this kind of thinking. They do not have this kind of thoughts. They still carry those orthodox thinking with themselves, because their attitude has not been modernized. And being modernized does not mean that we can do anything that we want, and there would be no values for elders, or there would be no values for the traditions we have been taught. It just means that there has to be a good positive change in the social outlook. So that's how human capital helps us. This, I think, this point is very important. Investment in human capital helps in changing mental outlook, and it promotes development of the economy. Next, it increases life expectancy. Obviously, when you're spending in the health of the people, so their life expectancy will increase. Health facilities, availability of nutritive food enable people to live a healthy and long life, and this in turn adds to the quality of their life. Next, This brings us to the next point: improves quality of life. The quality of population depends upon the level of education, health, and skill formation. So it not only makes people productive and creative, but also transform the lives of the people. People start living and enjoying higher incomes and more satisfying life. Obviously, when you are educated and all, you have built a life for yourself. You have raised a certain standard of living for yourself. That blessed are all those, who are able, who have these homes with themselves during this lockdown, who have this ability of buying all the groceries, all the essential items, all the essential goods and services in such a hard time. So it improves. You would agree to this fact that it has improved your quality of life, because somehow your parents have worked hard. They were healthy enough to bring you up, to make you this eligible human being, who can devote his health and education for the betterment of the nation and all. So all these factors also improve the quality of the life of the people, be it materialistic or experience wise, in both ways, materialistic and non-materialistic both. Your quality of life would be improved if you have good education, good health, and skills. And last, but not the least at all, control of population growth. It has been observed that educated persons, they have smaller families as compared to illiterate families. I would totally agree to this fact, because they know that there should be more children only if you have been able to invest in them, if they are not deprived of any resources, if they can be a boon to the nation, and they can, with all their capabilities, they can serve to countries production of goods and services or values also. So that is why educated people, they realize that adding to the number of members in the family is just not, right now it is just not in favor of the nation, as we are already suffering from the lack of funds from, in both public and private sector. In fact, there is so much inflation that people are not able to provide good facilities to their children, all the required facilities which makes them an excellent human being. So, spread of education is necessary to control the population growth rate as well. It is important that people should be aware about the fact that a reasonable control in the population growth is always required. There is excess of everything is bad, actually. So you can make your population an asset, but again, control on population growth is always required. So that's all for today. These were all the 7 points we had discussed about. We had discussed on human capital, importance of human capital. All these 7 points, and you should be just knowing these points as general, and be able to write 3-4 lines on each and every point actually. So just complete this work in your registers also. Give heading about these two reports also. Then you can write it as a question also. Write a short note on India as a knowledge economy, or India, how India can become a knowledge economy. Then you can use the report published by the World Bank, as well as you can use this paragraph, India's knowledge economy. So these were the two reports we did today: reports by DH Bank, reports by World Bank, and India's knowledge economy and the role of human capital formation. I hope the class was clear to you all. If there is any query regarding any class, any single topic, please let me know. Let me know your doubts. Do not just let them go like that. Let there be more and more clarity in whatever you are studying. Complete your notes in the register. Keep your register organized. All those who were not having any separate register, so if they are doing in macro also, it is okay, but please do not linger up with your work. Just do it somewhere, wherever you are doing. Write it fair. I'll be considering that fair only, but provided it is written in an organized and fair manner. Okay, meet you in the next class. Till then, take care. We'll continue with the chapter in the next very class. God bless you all. Thank you so much for attending the class and being great listeners.